Let me share something that may surprise you. Every night, whether you realize it or not, your body loses nearly a pound of water. Not from sweating, not from exercise, but simply from breathing. And when you're over 60, that silent water loss doesn't just dry your mouth or make you thirsty. It hits your eyes and your brain. In fact, a recent study from 2023 revealed that the brain can lose up to 20% of its hydration while you sleep. That's right, 20%. And here's the kicker, this dehydration happens even if you sleep a full 7 or 8 hours. So, if you've ever woken up with foggy thinking, dry eyes, or that strange heaviness behind your forehead, now you know why. It's not just age, it's not poor sleep, it's dehydration. Silent, overnight, and deeply underestimated. I know this may sound simple, but the impact is massive. Because when your brain and your eyes don't have enough hydration, the effects show up fast. Your vision feels tired by noon. Your mind drifts in conversations. And no amount of coffee seems to shake it. But here's the good news. You can reverse it. Tonight, without medication, without supplements, because nature has already provided the tools. They're not exotic, they're not expensive, and they're probably sitting in your fridge right now. Over the next few minutes, I'll walk you through 4 of the most powerful hydrating foods for your eyes and brain, and how to use them at night to help you wake up sharper, clearer, and more refreshed than you have in years. And if this is your first time here, welcome. And I'm Dr. James Porter. If you find this helpful, consider subscribing. I share real solutions like this every week. Always backed by science. Always made for seniors. Now, let's begin with a quiet healer you've likely seen 100 times, but never truly appreciated. Cucumbers. Cucumbers don't get much attention. They're usually seen as garnish, something bland you throw into a salad. But when it comes to nighttime hydration and tissue repair, especially for older adults, cucumbers are quietly powerful. Let's start with water. A cucumber is over 95% structured water. That's not the same as tap water. Structured water is more bioavailable, meaning it enters your cells faster and stays longer. This is critical for aging eyes and brains, where water transport becomes less efficient. In the retina alone, dehydration slows the flow of nutrients through the tiny capillaries that nourish photoreceptor cells. The result? Blurred vision, eye strain, sensitivity to light, and a delay in visual processing, which becomes dangerous when driving at dusk or reading fine print. But cucumber does more than rehydrate. It delivers silica, a trace mineral that strengthens the connective tissues around the eyes, including the sclera and the corneal lining. According to a 2021 review in the Journal of Ocular Biology, silica may also play a protective role against early-stage macular degeneration by stabilizing collagen integrity in the retina. Now, let's talk brain. Your brain is over 70% water, and even mild dehydration as little as 2% can reduce memory performance, attention span, and reaction time. But hydration alone is not enough. Cucumbers also provide flavonoids, especially fisetin, which has shown promise in reducing oxidative stress in aging neurons. A study published in the Aging Cell Journal in 2020 found that fisetin improved memory and reduced inflammation in aged mice, even reversing some signs of cognitive decline. For older adults, this matters. Hydration plus antioxidant activity equals better cellular recovery overnight when the brain is supposed to clean itself through a process called lymphatic drainage. Without enough water and anti-inflammatory support, that system clogs, toxins build up, and the next morning feels heavy. Let me give you an example. Harold was 72, retired electrician, sharp, but lately he said mornings felt dim, not just his eyes, but his thinking. We added just half a cucumber to his nighttime snack. No pills. No pressure. After 10 days, he called and said, "I can read my watch again without rubbing my eyes, and I don't lose my train of thought as much." Simple, effective, real. Now, if you want to try this yourself, here's how. Choose organic cucumbers if possible. Wash them thoroughly. No need to peel, most of the silica and flavonoids are in the skin. Slice them thin and eat raw about 1 hour before bedtime. You can pair it with a few almonds or plain yogurt for better absorption. Avoid salting them heavily, as sodium can counteract hydration. And don't cook them. Heat breaks down the delicate compounds we just discussed. This isn't a miracle, but for tired eyes and tired minds, cucumbers are a quiet way to begin healing. And when used consistently, they create the perfect foundation for what comes next, foods that go even deeper. Let's talk about oranges. Oranges are often praised for their vitamin C, but very few people understand how that vitamin, combined with the fruit's natural electrolytes, can directly impact your brain and vision while you sleep. Let's begin with the retina. Your retina is one of the most metabolically active tissues in the body. It needs a constant supply of nutrients, oxygen, and antioxidants to keep functioning. One of the most damaging forces to the retina is oxidative stress, a chemical imbalance that increases with age and leads to the death of photoreceptor cells. Vitamin C is one of the few antioxidants that can reach the aqueous fluid around the eye and neutralize reactive oxygen species. A 2018 study published in the Investigative Ophthalmology and Visual Science Journal found that higher vitamin C intake was associated with a significantly lower risk of age-related macular degeneration, particularly in adults over 65. But oranges offer more than just antioxidant protection. They contain natural electrolytes, especially potassium, which helps regulate the fluid balance inside and outside your brain cells. Why does this matter? Because while you sleep, your brain enters a cleaning phase. The glymphatic system activates, removing waste proteins like beta amyloid. But this system only works when fluid flow is stable. Electrolytes like potassium maintain that balance, preventing overnight swelling and pressure that can lead to brain fog the next morning. A study from the University of North Carolina in 2022 showed that low potassium levels in older adults were linked with slower glymphatic clearance and reduced sleep efficiency, a key driver of next-day mental fatigue. There's another hidden benefit of oranges. They're flavonones, plant compounds like hesperidin and nererutin. These flavonones have been studied for their anti-inflammatory effects on cerebral blood vessels. In 2020, the European Journal of Nutrition published a double-blind clinical trial showing that daily orange juice consumption improved blood flow to the brain in adults aged 60 to 75 and led to modest improvements in executive clutter, function, and processing speed after just 8 weeks. This isn't about drinking juice, though. It's about using whole foods, properly timed, to support what your body is already trying to do while you sleep. When you eat an orange in the evening, you're not just boosting vitamin C. You're calming inflammation. You're regulating brain fluid flow. You're protecting retinal cells. And you're creating the right chemical environment for deep recovery. To do it right, choose a small to medium-sized orange, not too acidic, preferably a navel variety. Eat it whole, with the white pith intact. That's where the highest concentration of flavonones live. Avoid juicing it, as the fiber helps modulate sugar absorption and sustain hydration overnight. Timing matters too. Eat the orange about 45 minutes before bed. If you're taking blood pressure medications or potassium supplements, check with your doctor, not because oranges are dangerous, but because synergy matters. The goal here isn't to overwhelm your body. It's to nourish it gently and consistently with what it actually needs to repair. Oranges are not a gimmick. They are a hydration tool, an antioxidant ally, and a neurovascular support system, all packed into one simple fruit. But the hydration story doesn't stop here. There's one more fruit that goes even deeper into the cells, and it might surprise you. Let's talk about watermelon. Few people think of watermelon as a brain food, but this summer fruit does something remarkable while you sleep. It penetrates deep into the tissues that are hardest to rehydrate, your neurons and your retina. Watermelon is over 92% water, but that's just the beginning. Its real value comes from the compounds that travel with that water. The first is L-citrulline, a naturally occurring amino acid that helps relax blood vessels and improve circulation. When you sleep, circulation slows. That can reduce the delivery of nutrients to fragile areas like the optic nerve and hippocampus. In older adults, where microcirculation is already compromised, this becomes a bigger issue. A study published in Nutrients in 2022 showed that L-citrulline supplementation in seniors improved endothelial function and cerebral blood flow, leading to more efficient nighttime detoxification in the brain. But watermelon does more than move blood. It protects cells with one of the most powerful antioxidants in the plant world, lycopene. Lycopene is a red pigment that gives watermelon its color. It is fat-soluble, meaning it can embed itself in the membranes of your brain cells and retinal layers. There, it acts like a shield against oxidative damage. The British Journal of Nutrition in 2021 published a cohort study showing that seniors with the highest dietary intake of lycopene had a 37% lower risk of developing cognitive impairment over 5 years. The study also noted improved contrast sensitivity in older adults with early-stage macular issues. That's not coincidence. It's biochemistry at work. Watermelon also contains choline, a nutrient essential for acetylcholine production, the neurotransmitter responsible for memory, focus, and REM sleep regulation. As choline levels drop with age, the ability to enter restorative sleep also declines. Watermelon helps restore that foundation naturally. Let me share a case. Miriam, 69, told me she was waking up dry-eyed and mentally blank. No energy, no focus. We swapped her usual salty crackers for a small bowl of chilled watermelon before bed. 2 weeks later, she said, "I feel like my brain actually wakes up now, and my eyes don't burn when I blink." That's less about the fruit, and more about what it gave her body permission to do, heal. Now, to make watermelon work for you, timing and portion matter. Eat a small bowl, about 1 cup 30 to 60 minutes before bed. Choose fresh watermelon that's deep red inside. Avoid pre-cut packaged pieces that have been sitting too long, as lycopene degrades with light and time. Don't combine it with dairy or salty foods at night. Those can interfere with hydration and absorption. And avoid eating the white rind. While not harmful, it lacks the dense nutrients we're targeting. You're not just eating a fruit. You're feeding your brain's ability to clear toxins, your eye's ability to recover from light exposure, and your nervous system's ability to reset. Watermelon may be sweet, but its value goes far beyond taste. And when paired with the final food we're about to discuss, the results can compound. It's a food that surprises most people, because it's creamy, fermented, and often overlooked as a hydration tool. Let's talk about yogurt. Most people think of yogurt as a breakfast food, a topping for fruit, a base for granola, baro. But used at night in the right way, yogurt becomes something else entirely. It becomes a quiet agent of recovery for your brain and your eyes. The first reason is tryptophan, an amino acid found in dairy that serves as a precursor to serotonin and melatonin. These are not just sleep hormones. Melatonin is also a powerful antioxidant, especially in the retina, where it helps neutralize oxidative stress during dark cycles. According to a 2020 review in the Journal of Pineal Research, melatonin receptors are concentrated in the retinal pigment epithelium and play a role in regulating intraocular pressure and photoreceptor survival. In older adults, this regulation becomes impaired, contributing to eye strain and night vision loss. By providing tryptophan before sleep, yogurt gives your body the raw material to restore this balance. Now let's talk about the gut. The gut-brain axis is real, and as we age, the microbiome shifts, often becoming less diverse and more inflammatory. This has direct effects on cognition. Yogurt contains live bacterial cultures, probiotics that interact with the gut lining and influence neural signaling. In a 2019 clinical trial published in Frontiers in Aging Neuroscience, older adults who consumed probiotic-rich yogurt for 12 weeks showed measurable improvements in verbal memory and mood scores compared to a placebo group. The mechanism? reduced systemic inflammation, and improved short-chain fatty acid production, which strengthens the blood-brain barrier and improves neuroplasticity. But yogurt also benefits ocular health indirectly. By reducing systemic inflammation, yogurt helps lower cytokine levels that would otherwise inflame delicate eye tissues. The Clinical Nutrition Journal in 2021 found that individuals with higher probiotic intake had lower risks of developing dry eye disease, especially when hydration levels were borderline. There's also calcium. This isn't about bones. Calcium plays a role in nerve transmission, especially in the optic pathway and hippocampus. But it only works efficiently at night when your system isn't overwhelmed with other metabolic tasks. Yogurt provides a slow, steady release of calcium in a form that's highly absorbable, especially when taken without added sugar. To make it work, here's what matters. Use plain, unsweetened yogurt, Greek or regular. Both are fine, but avoid flavored varieties or those with fruit syrup. These introduce unnecessary sugars that disrupt melatonin synthesis and blunt neurorecovery. Portion matters too. 2 to 4 tablespoons, about 30 to 45 minutes before bed is enough. You don't need a bowl, you need a signal. A biological cue to the gut, the brain, and the retina that repair mode can begin. You can pair it with a few cucumber slices or a drizzle of ground flaxseed if tolerated. But keep it light. This is not dessert. This is medicine in its gentlest form. Yogurt doesn't work like a drug. It doesn't push or stimulate. It supports. It steadies. It restores. And in a world full of noise and hype, sometimes that's exactly what your body needs most. Now that you've seen how each of these 4 foods works individually and together, let's bring it all home with one simple plan. Because knowledge is good, but action is better. You've seen the science. You've heard how each food plays a role in hydration, recovery, and long-term brain and eye health. Now, let's make it real. Because knowing is not the same as doing, and results only come when action meets consistency. Here's a simple plan, one that's been crafted with older adults in mind. Gentle on digestion, easy to follow, and designed to work with the rhythms of your body at night. 1 hour before bed, start with a few slices of fresh cucumber. Don't peel them. The skin holds most of the healing compounds. Pair it with a glass of cool water, nothing extreme, just enough to start the flow. About 45 minutes before sleep, eat 1 medium orange. Keep the white pith, that's where the flavonoids are. No need to rush. Let your body register the sweetness, the electrolytes, the signal that recovery is coming. Next, around 30 minutes before bed, have a small bowl of watermelon. Just 1 cup. Fresh, cold, no salt, no dressing. This gives your body structured water, lycopene, and the gentle nitric oxide boost it needs to open the vessels in your brain and eyes. And finally, 20 minutes before bed, 2 or 3 spoonfuls of plain, unsweetened yogurt. No toppings, no sugar, just the real thing. Let the tryptophan and probiotics begin their quiet work. Let your body exhale. This isn't a diet. It's not a treatment plan. It's a ritual, a way to prepare your system for what it was designed to do: heal during sleep. You don't have to do it perfectly. You just have to do it often. Over time, your mornings will tell you the truth. Clearer vision, sharper thoughts, less strain, more ease. And when that happens, you'll know it wasn't luck. It was consistency, and a quiet kind of wisdom that says healing doesn't need to be loud. Now, if you're still watching this, thank you. Truly. That means you care, and you're ready to take ownership of your health, not with hype, but with understanding. If this video helped you, please consider liking it. It helps more than you think. Leave a comment below, even 1 line. You never know who might need to read it. And if you haven't subscribed yet, I invite you to do that now. We keep things real. We talk about solutions that work for brains, eyes, and bodies over 60. Take care of yourself, and I'll see you in the next video.